I'm Darren.
I'm Derek.
And this is the BOTB Podcast.
Well, today is an interview that we kind of previewed basically 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Over the last couple of weeks, we've been doing Battle on the Border interviews. 2 weeks ago, we had Sergeant Ledbetter on. Last week, Carson Drake. But 2 weeks ago, when we had Sergeant Ledbetter on, he issued a major challenge.
Huge challenge.
To Denim Blevins, the owner and promoter of Battle on the Border. So obviously, we said during the podcast that we wanted, if he wanted to answer, that we would have him on so he could answer.
Yes.
And it took a while. We finally got an answer. I'm not gonna lie to you, we kind of probed him for the answer. I mean, you know, we were like, we couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah.
We were on pins and needles. I mean, it's a huge challenge, a cage match with the owner. So we got him on the episode today, but you already knew that because if you clicked on, you see the title of the video.
Yes.
So we have him on. I'm very excited. Make sure you stay tuned to see his answer. We also preview the rest of this show as of now, as the card is now, and we talk about that. We also completely just made stuff up at some point during this. I want to just address that here, so that way when you get to it, you're not as surprised. Listen, we pride ourselves on being a pretty decent podcast, I think. I mean, we try to entertain people, but we have a life.
We're not perfect.
And Sergeant Ledbetter made sure we knew that we messed up an order.
Yes.
This time I'm going to take we got called out too, but it was a pretty big one. Justin Xavier did not advance into the zero gravity tournament. For some reason in my head, maybe because I was just so... Listen, I also watch a lot of wrestling. There's a lot of things going on in life right now. I just, for some reason, thought he won. He lost to Jaden Jett. He's not in the tournament. He was our favorites. He's not now.
Well, I mean, as of today... Wait, what day did that match happen?
What match?
The Morsel Mayhem match.
June. It was the end of June. June 23rd.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But that wasn't
That's
where it
been
happened.
almost a month.
That wasn't where it happened. I know where it happened. It
Yeah.
happened in Moro, Ohio.
Yeah, which has been almost 3 months
Which
ago.
was a while ago. And I just forgot. And like I said, you know, we're not perfect. We dropped the ball. We admit it. We move on from there. We did not say who our new favorite was. My new favorite's Tim Lutz, by the way, in the tournament. Just wanted to point that out. But anyway, just wanted to get that point across. You know, we always have to strive to do better, and that's one area we got to do better at.
Yes.
We got to start keeping like a record book. Like we have to like start writing stuff down and like have a binder and like be able to flip through it. Like
Got a binder, pens, and a paper.
like we got to start. I mean, we know most of everything that happened, but for some reason, I just thought he was in it. It's unfortunate. He should be in it.
Yes.
But no, he lost fairly and squarely to Jaden Jett. But that is in this episode. We do interview him. We do get an answer of the Sergeant Ledbetter challenge. So make sure you stay tuned. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, other than you gotta watch to the end of the video to get the answer.
You should watch the whole episode though.
Yeah.
Whole episode's great. September 17th, Rivers Edge Indoor Sports Facility in Cleves, Ohio. September 17th, Armageddon, BOTB Armageddon. If you want to go and check out Battle on the Border, you can find them at Battle on the Border Pro Wrestling on Facebook. They also have an Instagram and a Twitter, but Facebook is where they're most active.
They also have a Battle on the Border Brigade page that you could request to join, and then you get everything on that too.
Yeah, and then you're a part of a fan group where there's a lot of different posts. This is where our podcast is usually posted. So you can find us there. You can also find extra stuff there. Denim teases some announcements there. Like if he gets a certain amount of likes, you get a match announcement. So you can be a part of the fans. The fans on Battle on the Border are the best fans around. So
yes,
become one of them. Become part of the BOTB Brigade officially on Facebook. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell so you can get notifications when we upload. You can also find us on Spotify, which is the BOTB Podcast. I share links on Facebook. The episode technically comes out early. It's audio only on Spotify, of course, but it does technically come out early, like a day or two early usually. So you can find us there, and if you do find us there, make sure you follow us. You can also hit the notification bell there, so when it gets uploaded, you can get it right away.
Yep.
You can also give us a 5-star rating. You can follow me on Twitter at DJDub00. I usually try to tweet live to AEW. And I plan on probably starting doing it for Battle on the Border too. So that way you can get that way I can also go back and look. Here's what I was thinking
yeah,
at the
then
time.
you can actually see what
helps me out.
said, yeah.
You can follow us on Instagram at D_D_podcast and on TikTok, the Double D Podcast 1. Also, I have started an AMP show. AMP is an app. I talked about it on Facebook before.
Yes.
AMP is an app that you can download and you basically become a radio DJ. So if you, I'll share the links when I go live. You can listen to it. I take a break in between some songs and talk about some things. We talked about the news last time. You called in. You can call in if you want to. All you got to do is download the AMP app, create an account, and then follow me there. I'm DJ Dub on AMP. If you look that up, it's a picture of a dog. It's Luna. Picture of Luna is my profile picture, and you can follow me there. I go live on Sundays from 8 to 10, and that's all for me.
And if you just love me, add my snap, Darren 11345678 We also got a email, which you forgot in your AMP.
I did.
Thing.
I did.
WDpodcast123@gmail.com, and we have a Facebook page, WD Podcast and Crew, and also my DJ service, Darren's DJ service, 812-212-1675.
And real quick, like I said, September 17th, Battle on the Border, River's Edge, Cleves, Ohio. Make sure to be there. You can find ticket links also if you're on Battle on the Border's Pro Wrestling Facebook page. You can find the ticket links there as well as the Brigade.
Get your tickets now.
There you go. We'll go out. Now, on to the interview with Denim Blevins. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. How's it going, fellas?
Oh, it's going great.
Going pretty good.
So,
Good.
you want to introduce yourself just in case anybody doesn't know who you are?
Okay, so I am the record holder for most career appearances on the D&D Double D podcast. Denim Blevins, the owner of Battle on Border.
3 times now.
3 appearances, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
3 times now.
Okay, if anyone starts to catch up to me, I'm totally jumping back on. I'm going to keep that lead.
Hey, you can be on. You can be on as much as you want.
Thank you.
So I guess the first question, because obviously there's a big thing that we want to talk about, but we're going to save that for a minute. I do want to get your thoughts on the Moores Hill Mayhem show because we haven't spoke since then on the podcast about it. So what was your thoughts about that show?
I was pleased with the show. I felt like it was a good night of wrestling from top to bottom. I thought we gave a good variety. I thought there were some big moments. Obviously, new heavyweight champion. Madman had held that belt for a year and a half, so Brian Pillman's an extremely qualified challenger, and he had tried to be the champion 3 different times. So I was really proud of him on finally getting it on that 3rd time. Seeing Rob Conway team up with Dustin Xavier, I thought was also very big. I think that's the kind of relationship that can help both of them. You know, you've got a 3-time WWE Tag Team Champion with, you know, arguably as big of an up-and-comer as we have on our roster. So I think they complement each other really well. The Giants match was good. Obviously, we couldn't keep that under control, but you don't see something like that too often anywhere else.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. And I did hear you guys' podcast where you agreed with what I had predicted with Aaron Williams and Matt Taylor being a very strong match.
Yeah, you were right on with that one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I even went into it with you, with knowing that you told us that was going to be a sleeper match. So I went into it with already high hopes, and it even exceeded that. So that was pleasant, and that's a nice way to start the whole show too. Yeah,
really get the crowd going and show them what we're all about. I thought those guys are definitely good choices to do that. And then I can't not mention Hooks winning the Interim Hardcore Championship. I was very impressed with that, and as much as I really don't like or respect him, I am pleased that King Bomani stepped up and took the match because we found out on extremely short notice that Dan wouldn't be there. So, you know, yes, there's a championship on the line, but it's probably harder to find someone to compete for that particular championship than any other championship we have. There's a lot of guys that just kind of steer clear from that whole atmosphere. So despite the loss, I will give Bomani credit for stepping up in that match.
Yeah, especially considering it was his first hardcore match.
Yeah.
Yeah. He came to the show with Ledbetter. I guess he was going to manage him or whatever he was going to do. And instead he ended up stepping up to the plate. So, valiant effort, but a loss nonetheless.
We could have done it in a little bit nicer of a way, but, you know, it's not really shocking considering the 2 people we're talking about there. But
No.
So from the last show on to the next one, when Sergeant Ledbetter was on the show, we were able to announce some matches. So I just wanted to talk about those for a second to get your opinions on them as well. So one of the matches was Jaden Jett against IPA. What are your thoughts on that one?
Okay, so that match is a zero gravity showcase match. Obviously, Jett has already advanced in the tournament, and IPA unfortunately lost to Carson Drake. But he did show the board of directors enough to get another opportunity. Fans seem to like him. I got some positive feedback online, and then we have to keep Jett active as well. So I think that would be a good showcase match for the division. And obviously Jett still has his eyes on the prize and immediate future still being alive, and IPA not so much at this point. He'd have to win a few, but right now the plan is with that all the qualifying matches would be done, and we would be planning to crown a zero gravity champion at our year-end show December 17th.
Oh, there we go. Got a date now.
Champion.
Yeah, so it seems right now that there's going to be the ink's not dry, so I really can't say for sure, but then again, I am the owner, so the plan is that there's going to be 6 guys who won their qualifying matches compete in a ladder match to be the first zero gravity champion.
That would be pretty cool.
Let's go. Ladders, I'm excited. I don't know if I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a ladder match in person before. I don't know. That would be really cool. I'm extremely excited. Hopefully, if that ended up working out, very excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
While we're on the topic of the zero gravity tournament, last week we did interview Carson Drake, unfortunately, and he was, he weighed in against IPA. Rick Tom said 219, 220?
220, something like that.
So what's the deal here? Because Carson gave us an answer, but I want to make sure he's not pulling our tail here. So what's the deal with that?
All right, so the deal with that is that the weight limit is supposed to be under 200 pounds. Obviously, all of these guys have sent in weigh-in stuff to the board of directors ahead of time. I don't know if you've seen before, but there's been some suspicion raised with the legitimacy of Carson Drake's, and so it's definitely something that's under review and going to be scrutinized going forward. He's basically the only person I've heard that about. Everyone else has had no problems. Pompano Joe, Jaden Jett, Tim Luck, all these other guys are fine, but the Carson Drake situation seems like it's going to come to a head, because it seems to me like he's trying to get on TV and bulk up and get to 250 pounds, not get under 200.
Right.
So could that in the future disqualify him from continuing on zero gravity?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he needs to start slimming down, is all I'm saying. I just don't know what he was thinking. Then he's blaming Rick Toms.
Yeah.
It's just rude.
And then hating on Rick Toms.
Rick Toms is a member of the board of directors and one of my best friends in the wrestling business, and also one of the most honest people you would ever meet.
Yeah.
So, I would say only a fool would believe Carson Drake over Rick Toms.
Yeah.
You're not wrong about that, that's for sure.
Now, as it stands now, I don't know, I can't speak for Darren, I can speak for myself. Justin Xavier is definitely my favorite moving forward in the zero gravity tournament. Darren, do you have
I'm going to follow with Justin Xavier as well.
Now, Denim, do you yourself have someone that you think is a favorite, or do you think that the fans should look out for maybe a little bit more?
Well, I would say that the least favorite person to win it might be Justin Xavier, because he got eliminated by Jaden Jett.
Shoot. God damn it.
Yeah, so I don't see him being the first champion. Of course, he has all the talent in the world. He may be the most talented zero gravity guy we have, but he'd have to get an opportunity because right now he just simply hasn't qualified, and 4 of 6 spots have been taken. We've got Carson Drake. Obviously, if he could make the weight just because of size, I would think that he would be a tremendous favorite.
Right.
And then I would say Jaden Jett, I still would have to view as an underdog, because I think he's probably the smaller participant of them, but as good of a high flyer as any. Tim Lutz is a live underdog, I would say. He's the former zero gravity champion when the belt was held in another promotion called Legends of the Squared Circle. So that's the first ever championship that we have taken over, inherited from another organization. So he does have some history with that. And then Pompano Joe is probably the best technical wrestler of the whole group, and probably has the best submission game of the group. So I would say he's in the mix too. I mean, and not to mention the most experience in the group. So I would say he is the favorite just because Carson Drake may or may not be able to make the weight. And and then we've got a couple spots still available to see who else can get in there.
Well, I'm going to also just point out that I apologize for not remembering that Justin Xavier didn't make the tournament.
Yeah.
That will be edited out of our podcast. I can't believe I forgot.
He did make the tournament. He just lost. Opening round against Jett.
I just don't remember how. I don't remember. I just cannot believe I forgot that. That'll be edited out. But anyway, I agree. I'm excited to see. I mean, the next two spots. Is there any? You can give us any clues maybe of what we can look forward to for those next two spots, or are you still looking?
Yeah. So I do know that I just recently announced that a guy that just signed on with us, and he's our first male Asian wrestler, Avery Hertz. So he's going to be in that mix. He's about 185 pounds and going for that. We just signed another guy named Dirty Dax, who's a former LSC champion in the zero gravity, so he's going to be in it. And then the last two spots haven't been completely solidified yet, so there's still a little bit of open-endedness there. But one person that has suggested to me today can also make that weight that I'm considering throwing into that tournament is Matthew Taylor, who beat Eric Williams, and he's claiming to me that he walks around at like 205 pounds and he can get under there. So I think he would be quite the contender as well.
Oh, he'd be an awesome contender in that, I think.
I'd love to see it.
That'd be awesome.
Let's hope.
Yes, if he is able to do that, we end up agreeing on that, I'll still end up finding at least one more person to be in the mix there. But yeah, two more guys qualify, and we'll have some kind of scramble at our year-end show.
That's going to be really cool.
Another match that we announced on the last show is franchise players against the Bad Dudes in a tag team match.
Yeah, so the Bad Dudes, Pompano Joe and Jeremiah against franchise players Brandon Day and the franchise Shane Douglas. They actually had that match up in Morrow at Legends and All-Stars, and the franchise players won it. Mm-hmm. I got a written request from Pompano Joe, being a veteran of the roster as such, been with me for a long time, claiming how it was a fluke and things of that nature. So he was very insistent upon getting another crack at him. And the Bad Dudes have been a team for over 10 years, so they're very experienced, very qualified. So I figured I would oblige. The other thing there is, Pompano has advanced in a zero gravity tournament, was kind of sitting out waiting for the big match. So giving him that tag match made a lot of sense to me.
Oh, I'm looking for it. I always love tag team matches, that's for sure. And you can't count. It's seeing Shane Douglas still go at his age now. I don't know how old he is, but I know he's been wrestling for a while. So seeing him wrestle at this age.
57 years old. He's the oldest wrestler on the roster.
No, dude, he's still. You wouldn't know it.
Right.
You would not know it. That is for sure.
Still got some good hair, don't he?
He does, honestly. Maybe not as great as it once was.
but
hey, he's got it.
He's still got it.
I can only hope that I have hair that old when I'm 57, So another match that we had was Craven and Shogun Jackson Stone.
Yeah, so to me, that one is a really hard-hitting match, and that's a match that can get someone into the mix for a future championship opportunity, because the top of our heavyweight division has been very crowded with Brian, and then also Madman Fulton and Congo Kong and Paxton Calloway, and the former heavyweight champion Shogun Jackson Stone. And I think Craven kind of mixes in with that, but he's going to have to prove it. I mean, he did win last show, and he did make a statement basically that he wanted Shogun by attacking him after a prior match. Mm-hmm. So give him that opportunity. I'd say if he wins that propels him right in the mix there. But until proven differently, I'd say he has to be an underdog against Jackson Stone. He's just, a gut check champion. He's a BOTB original from 2016. He's a former heavyweight champion. And I really like how they match up stylistically. I really like how they match up strength-wise and size-wise. Like, I think all of those scenarios are basically coin flip situations between those two.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, I had something to say and it completely slipped my mind. Oh, that's what it was. Going back to heavy hitting, you mentioned this earlier, Paxton Calloway, Congo Kong, you couldn't contain them. When you booked that match, you had to know that was going to happen. They weren't going to stay in the ring.
No.
And you had to know that was going to get out.
You're making me second guess myself here now for even having thought that, yeah. So that is an open-ended situation, and that's something that I need to figure out how to solve. So I'm actively working on that. Obviously, you've got a manager for each side as well that likes to, pull the strings and try to, speak for their client's behalf with David Barnabas Spector and fantastic Bobby Fulton. But yeah, I'm really working hard to try to bring a little bit of closure to that, because those guys obviously don't like each other. I would go as far to say maybe hate each other, and it seems as if that trickles down to the managers as well. There's just not a lot of love lost between either group there.
I say we just settle it this way. It's Barnabas Spector and Bobby Fulton. Put them in
In
a
a match. Yep.
Let's see how that goes. That'll end it right there.
Who's the favorite there? I feel like Bobby's got the way better resume, but Spector's a little younger, so I don't know.
Fantastic Bobby Fulton for the win.
I'm never going to bet against him.
Nope.
I won't bet against him.
I bet you Bobby Fulton's got more left in the tank than the Nature Boy.
Yeah, well, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah. But I wanted to make sure I asked that question because I meant to ask it earlier and I forgot. But going back to Craven and Shogun Jackson Stone, Craven did win, like you said last show, against El Fuego Loco. And then I said Jackson Stone's an obvious upgrade. Is El Fuego Loco okay? Did he make it out a lot? I mean, is he all right? Have you heard from him?
So it seems that was possibly a career-ending night for him. So we may never see him again.
Oh my God!
Went back to Mexico, Indiana, then.
Man,
wherever that is.
I don't know. I still haven't figured it out yet.
I don't think that Craven's going to be able to do the same thing to Jackson Stone. I don't think he's going to be able to end his career.
No.
That would shock me. And I also, at the beginning of that match, El Fuego Loco was very elusive. He was able to sidestep him, use his speed and stuff. Shogun's not that type of guy. He's more like a bull that's going to meet you head on.
Oh, absolutely. And so, and Craven's the same way. It's going to be I'm extremely excited about this.
And it's going to be a very good match.
I don't know if you're going to be able to contain these two either, though.
I'm starting to see a pattern.
I'm starting to see a
pattern.
I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it yet, but I know that our interim hardcore champion's going to be there that night as well. I don't know if we can control him either.
I say, you know what you could do is you could have hooks on the outside of the ring, and then it's kind of like a strap. What are they? Isn't that a lumberjack match or something where they come out when these people come out of the ring, they start slapping them with. You have hooks standing on the outside of the ring with the kendo stick or whatever, and you just have them start swinging on people, and that'll keep you.
I'm going to have to write down that suggestion. That might keep guys in the ring.
It's just sometimes I don't remember who wins matches and is advancing in a tournament, but I can remember one. I can come up with some good ideas sometimes.
Or hooks and Paxton Calloway on each side. Paxton Calloway just throw them back in the ring.
Well, I mean, dude, if you had all four of them, good. That building's coming down.
Right, thankfully it's a big building.
Yes.
The last time we were in Cleves, Paxton, Calloway, and Congo Kong and Mammy and Fulton, it was a three-way for the BOTB world title, and they battled all over the place.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. That did happen.
And I mean, I would not be surprised to see Craven or Shogun Jackson possibly doing the same thing. Fans, watch out. Stay out of the way of these folks. You're not going to get in the way of either of them.
They may accidentally squash you.
Yeah, it's one of those enter at your own risk type situations.
Yes.
I think that's why some fans prefer to get general admission tickets over the front row.
Yeah, that way you can you have enough time to get out of the way. Well, I don't know where our table is going to be set up. Hopefully, we're out of the splash zone, the landing area there. I don't want our table to get destroyed.
Come on through. That'd be the most exciting time, I'm sure. Go on through it.
Yeah, because you guys did not, or did you have your table set up last time we were there, or no?
No, we were there though, but we did not.
Yeah, I remember you being there, but I think you only set up the tables at the last couple shows. But so yeah, you saw how we had them all set up, so I'll be looking forward to you guys setting one up there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I do know someone else that'll be over there near you. Just earlier today, I just went and got a new sponsor. They're called T Daddy's Drive Thru, and it's a friend named named Trinidad, and they actually own a drive-through that's, alcohol, snacks, all that kind of stuff, right at the bottom of the hill that takes you up to River's Edge. So they have that really long driveway. Well, at the bottom of that, within about a quarter mile right there, is T Daddy's drive-through, and they're going to have a table set up. So you guys be out there by them. I know Pure Romance is going to have a table set up. There's going to be a few other ones too. I've got someone that's in charge of that. I really don't remember. A group called Cincy Wrestling, which is another group that I'm working with, another friend. They're going to have a table set up there, and then a few other ones as well. So should be a pretty nice atmosphere.
No, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, everyone who's watching this, come on, visit us, visit all the other sponsors, T Daddy's, Drive-Thru, Pure Romance, Cincy Wrestling, all the sponsors that'll be there. Make sure you come by and visit all of us.
Yes.
A lot of people don't realize it, but sponsors are a lifeline of companies, so that's why I appreciate guys like you, along with fans and, people that buy merchandise, like all of those. Without all those things, you don't have a wrestling show, so definitely appreciate everybody that wants to be involved with Battle on the Border and help continue growing it.
Absolutely, and I'm my mind's frazzled that we said, oh, Justin Xavier's our favorite.
Yeah.
We'll get better. We're gonna get better. Cincy Wrestling. You mentioned that earlier. Did you want to mention that about that spot or that you're working with that other promotion? Did you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, so essentially they're a newer company, but they do use a lot of talents that we don't. So they have kind of a different roster, and they're on the west side of town in Western Hills. So the owner of the company's name's AJ, and AJ is going to have a table set up at our show on September 17, and then they actually have one the following day in Western Hills, and Battle on the Border is going to have a table set up there, and we'll be giving away stuff for our future shows and advertising and things like that. So kind of working with other promoters, kind of like Tim Lutz from APW, and there's just different people like that where you're better off to kind of coordinate and work as a big unit.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'm extremely excited. When I seen that announcement, because that came out like right after the last show in Moores Hill, when I came out, I was extremely excited to see that because I had heard about Cincy Wrestling through someone on Facebook, and then just randomly to see Battle on the Border working with them was extremely exciting. And I hope to eventually make a show. I don't know if I'll be able to make the September 18th show, but I'm going to plan for a show eventually to make sure I'm there to see it because I'm extremely excited about it.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely, man. I definitely recommend it. They've only had one show so far. I went to it, and it was very enjoyable. They had some good guys there. Larry Zabisco was there. JJ Dillon was there.
oh,
Yeah.
all right, now Darren, you want to enter us into the biggest part of this podcast?
Way biggest part. So, as you may know, Sergeant Ledbetter threw a challenge on the table. Do you have some type of response for that?
Yeah, I definitely do feel some type of way about that. The first thing I would say is, I'm not a professional wrestler, so I find that odd that he would, be so infatuated with me to always be talking about me and always be trying to get me to do this and that. However, I don't understand why he drew my mother into it. I find that to be like a very bizarre situation. I understand that she did what she had to do last time because of him starting the whole situation. It's it seems that Sergeant Ledbetter has or he's essentially a master of revisionist history. So a lot of the stuff he says seems pretty inaccurate. I don't think there's any kind of reason for threatening a woman with a kendo stick or anything like that. So yeah, basically find it very odd that he would be wanting to do that.
Yeah, it's a very weird situation.
I mean, I said it on the pod, the last one, and I'll say it again on this one. What he said is that we do not share the same opinions.
No, not at all.
And, unfortunately, sometimes when you have guests, they go haywire, and you can't control that,
Especially when he's demanding a day in advance to be on the podcast.
That's kind of what we get. We deserve it. We really do deserve it.
It seems like he thinks the world revolves around him or something.
honestly, I mean, you said it, not me. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not. You're definitely right. I mean, he demanded the time, and then he comes on here, and then he's playing nice with us. You know, first of all, he opened us calling us Dumb and Dumber, which was just off the bat not a good first icebreaker.
Not good. Very.
And then right, and then he goes on and he just says these unbelievably rude things.
Yes.
And it's just.
If it was my mom, boy.
Would you have accepted the challenge if it were your mom?
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because I know he was on there saying, like, what were supposed to be true stories about me. Of course, anyone with, you know, any kind of brains knows he's lying, right?
Yes.
Well, I have to ask you this. Sergeant Ledbetter, you know, we all know he, and I will say that I respect the fact that he was a sergeant in the Air Force. That means a lot, and I've had a lot of family serve also in different parts of the armed forces, including my grandfather, and that's a whole other story, but a lot of that in my family, so I do respect that. But just to throw a question to both of you guys, do you think, you know, the Air Force compared to the other armed forces, think about that, and then within the Air Force themselves, do you think they put their toughest guys as the electrician?
No. Probably not.
Nope.
Okay, so there you go.
Oh, okay. Well, WD Podcast wants to say this also. If you were an electrician in the Air Force, we thank you for your service, and we believe that you are a tough individual as well. However,
Yeah, I only personally know one electrician from the Air Force.
Now I didn't know what he was in the Air Force. Now I do. Now I know one. And I don't think that's the best representation of what they're like either. If I had to take a guess.
I think if anything, he's just a very disrespectful man for some reason.
Yeah, you think someone who would have a little bit more honor, who's in the military?
You gotta hold that and carry it with you.
You would think so.
So, I mean, do you have a response as far as whether or not you're going to accept the challenge, or?
Well, I will say this also. He was saying the stuff about the golden ticket. The golden ticket works with wrestlers and doesn't work against the owner of the company, so he really can't do that. I mean, I understand what he's saying, but you could basically scratch that from being a thing. No golden ticket will be used against me. But I will say this on the other hand, like, I always kind of live my life by this quote. It's like, I won't be wronged, I won't be insulted, and I won't be laid a hand on. I don't do these things to other people, and I require the same from them. So along that meaning, you know, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. So, you know, he says all these things. The way I would look at that is the way that he's trying to talk to me and, like, talk to my family and my company and all that. Like, I feel like he's, like, trying to take away my life. He's trying to take away everything I've built, everything that makes me denim. And I'm not going to let him take that away from me. He wants to get in a cage and fight me. I can say that, as I said, I'm not a wrestler, but getting in a cage is actually just my style. That's more up my alley, being a person from doing other martial arts and stuff. So I think we need to get in the cage and settle this.
So is that a yes?
That means that he does not need to use the golden ticket, because as soon as he mentioned my mother's name,
it was a yes.
I'm looking for him.
Oh, let's go,
awesome.
Denim.
Yeah, and when I get in there, man, I can tell you this: that if he's looking at me to be, you know, the owner of Battle on the Border,
No.
well, that would be a drastic mistake on his behalf, because I'm gonna come in there like a crazed dog, like a pit bull. I'm gonna try to get on his neck, and I'm gonna not let go. And as soon as you let go, or as soon as you get rid of the wrestling and put it in a cage, well, that opens up no disqualification, and that's where I use my elbows and my knees and my submissions.
Let's go.
And I can really open up some things that I do know well. So he thinks that that's hurting me. I'm excited about this.
And that also eliminates his cheating habit.
Well, you know, yeah, it eliminates outside
I
force.
can tell you guys this, talking about cheating, in front of my family, in front of my whole company, all of my friends. I'm from Cleves. He can hit me with a baseball bat, and I'm still not going to go down. Like you guys saw, even like a few weeks ago, man. I got hit in the face, had multiple. Both of my eyes were black, and gave me a concussion, and everything. And I stayed in the game. Got a hit next time up. So I don't go down easily, and I hope he's ready for a war.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm ready to see it.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this. You got some guts. I wouldn't have said yes. Well, I mean, he said something about my mom.
He said something about my mom. I would, yeah.
One thing about me, man, and people in Cleves do know that I've never backed out of a fight in my life, and I haven't been in an actual fist fight since I was 34 years old. So I'll be 40 years old September 1st. So, you know, it's been about 6 years. I'm overdue. And the last guy, you know, ended up in the hospital, and it's happened a few times in my life. I'm not even going to say I'm like proud of that. That's probably one of my worst qualities. I've been in a lot of fights in my life. Usually, you know, be what I would view as ambassador of goodwill. Like I'll be helping someone that can't help themselves, or sticking up for someone, or a woman, or a child, or, you know, lots of things. But I've been stabbed. I've been wrestled. I've been jiu-jitsu'd. I've been boxed. I've been jumped by multiple people. We could even take it to the point of I've been hit as hard as life could ever hit somebody, with losing both of my brothers. So I've been hit mentally, physically, spiritually, every way that someone can be hit, and I'm still here. So if he thinks he's getting into something easy, then he should probably pack a lunch.
I absolutely agree. I think I'm going to speak for the Double D podcast on this one. We are in your corner on this one.
Oh, 100%.
He crossed the line, and it needs to be addressed. And I like the way you're going about it, because you could go a lot of different ways about this. You decided to accept the challenge, and I
could have fired him, guys.
That's what I mean. You could have went about this a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah, he could have been pack your bags and get out, but.
So
I mean, as I feel like you guys have made a comment when you talked to him about this being personal. I can tell you it is personal. So that's why I want this. I would, you know, Sergeant Ledbetter goes around talking, doing a lot of things. Well, he's essentially knocked on the wrong door, because I'm going to answer.
Well, I'm excited for it. That made me even more excited about September 17th show. I mean, it's just. I'm speechless still. I was speechless last week when he gave the, and now I'm speechless now. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, yes or no. I didn't really know. I was going to be speechless probably either way. Yeah. But now I'm extremely excited for the show.
Like I said, man, I've never backed down from a fight in my life. So anybody, you'll see a lot of people there in Cleves that have known me since I was a kid, and you can ask them, like, when you get on the ground level and really talk to people about where I would stand in that Cleves community. And that's a shoot. That's nothing to do with wrestling. I'm saying that the people in that town know. So Sergeant Ledbetter's going to know.
Absolutely. I agree. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to say for the September 17th show at River's Edge in Cleves?
No, not particularly for that, but there is one other thing that I wanted to say, and that was it just came to my attention today that another guy that was with me at the beginning of Battle on the Border, and like a super fan, and also the father of one of my former wrestlers. I just found out today he passed away. His name is Dan Garrison. He was a big part of the BOTB Brigade, lived in West Harrison, Indiana. He even cut some promos and stuff for me before, but his son Scott's a really good friend and used to wrestle at Battle on the Border for me as well. Also play softball with me and all those type of things. So I did want to say rest in peace to a good friend, Dan Garrison.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dan Garrison. Rest in peace. Well, Denim, thank you for joining us. I don't know if we're going to get to talk to you before or in between now and September 17th, but just in case we don't, good luck.
Well, I'm going to be ready, man. I'm not relying on luck. I'm going to be the best version of myself I've ever been. I'm going to be mentally, physically, and spiritually ready, and I'm ready to go in there and take care of business.
Absolutely, man. We are
in this place
again. We are extremely excited for it. We were in your corner for this one, and in between then and now, also we will try to get better at remembering who wins matches in important situations.
Yes, so feel free to put it out there and let everybody know, man.
Absolutely, we sure will. Again, thank you for joining us. And you're
All right,
welcome.
guys, I appreciate you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.